Unknown presentation, data analysis. Identification tests are very important because many people are infected with bacteria frequently. The biochemical test gives the ability to identify bacteria quickly by their genetic and chemical properties. The test can also test for contaminants in food, water, and other sources. The most important part of the test is the diagnosis, so we can figure out what type of treatment will be effective to kill the bacteria. Biochemical tests help narrow down the type of characteristics of the organism you have. An example is of the crystal violet agar inhibits the growth of gram-positive bacteria and promotes the growth of gram-negative bacteria, so you should mainly see the growth of gram-negative bacteria on the agar. The biochemical tests help determine what the organism eats. For example, the triple sugar iron test shows if glucose, lactose, or sucrose is fermented and if peptones are aerobic or anaerobically catabolized. Biochemical tests help show what enzymes the organisms have. For example, in gelatin hydrolysis test, it tests for the enzyme gelatinase. If the gelatinase is liquefied, then it does produce gelatinase, and that would be a positive result. Biochemical tests can also show gas production. For example, the hydrogen sulfide test tests for H2S gas by the appearance of the color black, and you can see that in the SIM-DEEP. Here are the results from all of my tests. Key biochemical tests for my organisms was the SIM-DEEP. It tests for H2S gas, indole production, and motility. If the presence of H2S, the SIM will turn black along the stab line, and if motile, it will move beyond the stab line. Indole production will give a red color. For my results, the sulfur was positive, and it was motile. That was positive, but the indole was negative. This result narrowed down my organism to two possibilities. It is between Salmonella typhimurium and Proteus mirabilis. The next key biochemical test for my organism was the urease test. Urease tests for the enzyme urease, and if positive for urease, it will turn a bright pink. My test was negative, and that narrowed my organism down to 1. The result of my urease test narrowed down my unknown to Salmonella typhimurium. Salmonella typhimurium is important because it's a major cause of food poisoning. It lives on foods like eggs and undercooked meat. It causes gastrointestinal distress, diarrhea, vomiting, abdominal cramps, fever, and dehydration. Usually there's no medical treatment and you can get over it in a couple of days, but some ways to prevent getting Salmonella typhimurium is to wash your hands, do not consume undercooked foods, sanitize countertops and surfaces, and keep uncooked meat separated from other foods.